Okay, shaky, shaky, shaky. YouTube will cut all this anyway. Hello, trick or treat. Oddfoot says, treat. Sketch a day May. We're on day 14. Woot woot. So I'm not sure. I so far haven't planned what I'm going to draw in any day. And I always feel like I should have. So I am going to draw a deer because it came to mind. Woot woot. And so that'll be fun. Maybe I'll draw just like, well, let's see. We'll start. Okay. So sketch a day May. Put that there. Let's get the basic layout first. I need my pencils. I'll take all that. You can't. Okay. We'll have the deer. Let's have it just like a really normal deer pose. You might not think about deers having normal poses, but they definitely do. So we'll get a leg. This will be the back leg. We'll have a little bit of a bowed back, not like a horse, which has like a really, there's like a big muscle here, and then like there's the neck, which is a little separate. And then this guy, we're going to have him sort of, I'm just going to throw a head on here that doesn't really work. We'll get more detailed in a second. But we'll have this guy like looking back over his shoulder. What are deer's ears like? Oh, yeah. They're kind of like jackalope ears. Why do I know? Maybe these aren't jackalope ears. Maybe I'm totally confused. They're not even. But yeah, this is just meant to be a... This is not meant to get finished yet. We're just trying to get him down on the page. So we'll give him some leggies. They go like this and then like this. This is the knee, and then this is the heel of the foot. And then this little bit they stand on is our toes. They're like, a lot of mammals to us look like they're standing on their tippy toes. And that's how I remember to draw them anyway. And we'll have his tail sticking straight up because like it's more visually interesting. And you can't really see the white of the tail, but we're going to put it on there anyway for the same reason. It's more visually interesting. We'll have that separate. And we'll just do a second leg. It'll just look basically like the first. I think this more straight down. Okay. When I drew that second leg, something about the angle felt really off. So I just changed it and made it go more straight down. Yeah, okay. So I'm doing sketch a day May, sketching something new every day in May. So far it's been new. Hi, Queen G. Man, can you watch YouTube Shorts in VR? That would be an interesting experience. Could they make VR Shorts where like somebody filmed on a 360 camera and then it was like you were in their house? That would be too weird. I wouldn't like that. So I do remember, yeah, there was YouTube VR for a min. I do remember like watching a basketball game in VR and like a concert in VR, like on YouTube a long time ago. I think these back legs were just like not doing it for me. I think I drew them too small. I was too demure. No, this is a one idea. It's not a no idea. Okay, let's get the face something. This isn't a bad start. The ear, I think this ear is a little low. Bring that up. That Feels more even. What'd you say? Yeah, we'll get it down. Let's get it down. You can probably see a little jaw muscle. Most animals you can.
Johnny Holt says, when I was young, I started learning how to draw by drawing cartoons. Because when you open a coloring book before you color it, before you see his lines.
Yeah, yeah. I really love when I started to learn how to draw, that type of line art was what I was trying to get to. I really love it. I really appreciate it. I have moved, it's not my forte. I can do it okay, and I do still do it, not infrequently, for different projects, but it's not the style I naturally gravitate towards. This style that I'm doing here is the style I naturally gravitate towards. And for a long time, I felt like this style was bad or like less inherently valuable than the line art, like inside of a coloring book before you color it in style. And yeah, I don't, that's not true. Like art is valuable in how it makes people feel and how people like it, and it's valuable different ways to different people. So there's no like this art is more valuable than that art, not in any real sense. But that is what I believed. And I really tried hard to make art in that style, line art, really clean line art. But now people really like this. I went back to this. My There's like a story here. I had been drawing with ink for like all of Inktober last year, I think. And for some reason I moved on to pencil and I can't really remember what it was that started it. But I had to do something and I was like, "Oh, I'm better at doing this in pencil. Like it doesn't have to be this finished product. I'm just going to whip it up in pencil first." And then I did that. And the person the art was for was like, "Perfect. That's beautiful. I want exactly that." And I was like, "Well, don't you want me to ink it first and like uh finish it?" Basically, that's what I thought. Like this is just the pencils. You want the inked version. And they were like, "No, I want exactly what you just made. Can I have that, please?" And I don't remember if it was a paid. It wasn't. And that'll be the work. Thank you very much. And I started showing that to other people. I was really proud of it. And I was like, "Oh, look, this is the work I did for this person." And everybody was like, "Oh man, that's great. Did you just learn how to draw this style? This is so good. You should draw in this style more often." And I was like, "No, this is the style that I draw in all the time. This is like every art you've ever seen of mine has been drawn in this style, and then I colored over it with ink." And people were like, "Oh, well, that might be a mistake there." And now I'm back to doing pencil, and I couldn't be happier.
Johnny said, like a while ago, you're doing fine. I've been drawing since I was 6. I'm 65. Everyone has their own style.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I drew a little bit as a young man, um, but then I did more like design, graphic design, that type of thing. And it wasn't until relatively recently, I'd say about 6 years, that I started doing any drawing. How does a nose go on a deer? Is it like, yeah, 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 yeah. I got it.
Into doing artwork or different side stuff, I got a business. you can see the picture.
Like well, like Monet's what's that on the riverbank? But also like Chuck Close. Um, he has all those dots.
Alright.
But yeah, like pointillism type. Yeah, as a designer, that kind of stuff was really yeah, we learned a lot about that and it's appealing, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I made this guy happy, but I did. He's like, "Oh, hey, it's my sister." All right, this is not so bad. Not so bad for a first sketch. Something up with this ear. You think the ear is in front of or behind? You know, I think it's like just under. If I remember the last time I looked up deer anatomy, I think I'm going to do it kind of like under and behind. Give it a little like twist.
Johnny says, well, I come to work and you should have start putting your brain on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. The creativity and the release of creativity when you're doing art, um, I find especially sketches because with a sketch you might create something that you'll never actually put into a final product, right? Like, and in that way, that can be really freeing because you're not trying to make it perfect. Usually, sketches are like just for your own eyes. Not these, obviously, I'm doing them as to show people, so they are not. But when I'm sketching just for myself, um, again, the legs are weird. I feel like you can kind of give your imagination free reign and do some crazy things that so it's a lot like getting your brain out on paper. What else is about that? Because oh, and you know, just like people have said this, just like every muscle in your body, the brain gets stronger and easier to use the more you use it. So if you're out here being creative every day or twice a week or however much time, you know, once a lunch break or whatever it is, it'll be easier and easier to be creative. At least that's what I've found. And being creative can help you in all aspects of life, not just creating. But problem solving, such as how do I not draw these dang feet that I don't want to draw? Or, you know, I worked retail for like 20 years. How to how to fix these shelves so they look just right, or do this on a tight budget, or whatever it is. We don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about this deer. Where's it going? Okay, so I've been thinking a lot. I was hoping to draw something fun today, and instead I drew this deer, Daryl.
You've already used Daryl.
I've used Daryl?
Yeah.
Dang. I usually,
Koala. Daryl.
okay, not Daryl. It's obviously, this is a Fenton.
Looks like it might be staring at a bird on a branch.
Oh, he's like, I'd eat that bird.
Come on.
I found out that deer, like, in order to gain like deer are omnivores in a way. We always thought they were vegetables, herbivores, but like they eat like shells and uh, birds, small birds, and stuff like that. Apparently, because they really want calcium. But I'm not a deer. I don't know what they want. It's really interesting. I've on most of these drawings, I choose something kind of random to draw, but in my mind, it's not random. Something that comes to me, and I often know like some weird fact about it. Okay, yeah, let's draw. Let's give him some freckles. He's not a baby, but we'll give him baby deer features. Like just to make him cutesy. That's fun. I like that. Should we do a bird on the wing? I mean, on a branch? Hmm. We could do a blue jay. Yeah. A blue jay is a corvid, like a crow or a raven, which I did not know. That's why they're so smart and so annoying. Blue jays are very annoying, also, if you didn't know. Let's do a tiny one. Let's scale it with the deer. Be all the way up here. Yeah, we'll just do a regular sized one. Okay. I did a bird yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. Uh, Birds are funny. I always draw them as like two circles. You have the head. Blue jay has like a mohawk. Um, it's like the punk bird. I don't remember where blue jays are blue and where they're white, but I do. You can. There we go. Ugh, bird necks, man, they get me every time. Like, why are they so thick? What are they doing in there? Is it all feathers? Like, have you ever seen that an owl, like a wet owl, and all of their gosh, I'm struggling with this guy. I think I'm right. I think the eye is just in the wrong place and it's throwing me off. Because I think this is the shape of its head. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. Bird's eyes are just like deer's eyes. They're just like dark. They're all iris. I don't know if that's true. They're all some part of the eye. Nope. No whites. No whites of the eye. Humans, there's one other animal, or there's a few other animals, but there's one animal that like watches the white. Oh, it's a crows, right? Crows can read the whites. So the whites of our eyes makes it so, of humans' eyes, makes it so other people can see where we're looking relatively easily. But for most animals, that's not true. You can't really tell, like, is he looking at me or is he looking at the fridge? And so Gosh, is this branch just gonna go like back away from me? Like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And so, like, for a crow, you would think there's no real reason for it to be able to read where human eyes are looking, but they can. They did experiments and they will follow our eyes. I think dogs will do it too, but that makes sense. We live with dogs. Uh, this is kind of a blue jay. We'll clean him up in a second. Like faux hawk he's got going on. It, okay, something. Some of it's white and some of it's blue. And probably like their belly is white. And then, I don't know, birds' hands all look the same. Little hooky things. All right. Little blue jay that the deer's looking at. We can scan it into the computer and shrink it down. Make them the same size. I was going to draw, I forgot, now I remember, some, what is it called? The things like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, fantasy, some fantasy creatures. So if anyone's in chat and has a fantasy creature they'd like me to draw, let me know. I'll try to draw it. I drew a dragon yesterday and it was fun. I hadn't drawn a dragon in a really long time or maybe ever. And it was fun. I didn't think it was going to come out good, but it came out pretty good. I liked it. So if somebody has a fantasy creature, I drew a gnome a while back and I put it on a greeting card. People really liked it. Um, but a gnome's really easy. It's all beard, right? So I'll start with a gnome. You got head. You can see the head. Okay. And gnomes like David the gnome. We got the um, big pointy hat. So I learned, did you know that gnomes' hats are red in the original fairy tale? Because it's dipped in blood. They like they rush out when you're not looking after like a you kill a fox or I can't remember the exact thing, but they rush out when nobody's looking and they dip their hats in blood. And that's how their hats get red. And because of that, like young gnomes' hats are not red because they're not like, you know, adult enough to have dipped it in the blood. It's like a rite of passage. And when I learned that, I was relatively young. I think I went to the library and I was like, man, I really want to learn about gnomes because I was watching David the Gnome. And like, people let you read anything at the library. And so I went and I read a book about gnomes. And I think, uh, you know, how harmful is that? Just a book about gnomes. But it's kind of like Grimm's fairy tales. It was pretty dark. Oh, there we go. We got big merry cheeks. Not my gnomes. This guy's hat has never been anywhere near blood. Unless he's a doctor. And do big ears. And then we'll do a mustache and a beard. And that's how gnomes roll. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining here. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining here. Yeah. So it's just all, gnomes are just all beard. So I had a suggestion to draw paper dolls, but I don't really know. I don't really know how to do that. Well, maybe we'll do the cartoon versions. These are pretty cartoony, actually. Let's do one more. Let's try a paper doll out. So it's going to have to be simple. And I think you kind of want it to be more or less symmetrical, because you want to be able to do the clothes easily, right? A regular shaped head. We'll make it a girl head. That's where the eyebrows will be. So this is where the eyes will be. We'll give her eyelashes and a little nose and a happy mouth. There we go. Maybe you can even have different hair for her, but we'll give her pigtails. Big, loose pigtails. Is that what these are called? I think so. 2 side ponytails. And then, I guess because they're pigtails, you'd probably be able to see her ears. So I'll draw on little ears. Okay. Shoulders. So, wait. Are they usually doing anything? Yeah, I don't know how paper dolls work. Belly, hips. Whoop. Too short.
I usually just like close it. Close it.
Oh, I wonder if you could do ones where like you have those like pins in the joints and then they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. I was talking about this. Here, I'll send it in the chat, but there's like someone in another chat I was on another live I was watching because they make paper dolls. And I said paper dolls like those dolls from
Cool. Yeah, I used to do like paper craft stuff like this. I've made.
Miranda Bear's back.
Oh, hey. Welcome back, Miranda Bear. We're doing a paper doll. We're drawing a paper doll, not making. We're not drawing a paper doll to make. It's a weird day. So we gave her some joints. Yeah, and then that makes sense. And then if you were to make a dress or something, it would be like, let's kind of do this. How long is that? About that wide. And then you'd have the shoulders, and you could do like a, oh, because of the dress, because of this joint here, we would want to make the dress kind of just hang off the shoulder, I think, so that this joint would be free, but it doesn't really matter if it's not. You could have it be like have it be any kind. You could even put joints on the dress if you wanted to. And then as long as the dress covers, it can be a little bit wider it can be a little bit wider at points. And if you want it to be, um, if you want to show what's beneath, right, skin or whatever, you would just not include it at that part. And then here, like in the center, you would do what? Like these, just these like fold tabs. And that would kind of be the idea.
They need tabs up over the too, so it doesn't fall.
Oh yeah. Some, and then that would go over his shoulder. You can, that's, you have a dip here, you have a dip here, so they don't like slide out. And then you have the here dips here and here. And then that gives you like a good solid dress. We can even cinch it a little, give it a little. Do dresses have belts? Well, this one does. Yeah. And then you would have a back, or you would just only have her face down, one or the other. That's pretty good. I think that would work. I don't have scissors. Or I'd give it a try. And I guess if you wanted to make, let's move to the other side. If you wanted to make like a shirt, what is it? So it'd be the same near the neck. You have the hang tabs, go shoulder to shoulder. And then could you just put joints in the shirt just like you do for the arms? And then they would have hang tab. They would have tabs also. You'd have like a tab here, a tab here. Or no, you would even, you could take the tabs out, right? The pins out. Because the pins are just these types of pins. Right? And then you can, they're folded back when they're put in. Kind of like flat like this. Brads. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so you could, yeah, as long as they're not rivets, which sometimes they are rivets, right? When they're like professionally made. But even if the rivets, you put rivets in the shirt, and there you go. You have a shirt that follows the arms. This could be fun to do. Just a very rough sketch of a paper doll situation. I was browsing the Library of Congress and I found some old paper dolls that were in books that you were meant to like cut out. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming today. I did do a little longer today, and I'll probably do a longer one tomorrow. We did the deer and the bird. Very fun. Fenton and Jerome. And we'll see you tomorrow. It's starting to rain really loud now, and I feel like I'm going to start shouting. So, sketch day, May. See you tomorrow. We'll sketch every day in May. Sketch a day, May. Bye-bye.